Good evening. So, as Bristol City Council and the police stand accused of institutional racism in their dealings with Bijan Ebrahimi, both organisations are being told to act so nothing like this ever happens again. Bristol City Council has now been told it should immediately review all its vulnerable tenants to make sure their needs are being met. The report also says it needs to change its policy for such tenants and look at how they're being supported, including those who live in their own homes like Mr Ebrahimi. And both the council and Avon and Somerset police are being told to look at the way their staff are being trained about racism so they can challenge discrimination in the future. Our Home Affairs correspondent Charlotte Callan looks at how the trust can be built with the city's communities.
Don't you dare take pictures of me, all right?
This is Lee James, filmed by Bijan Ebrahimi in his own flat. He accuses him of being a paedophile, a dangerous untruth that led to his murder. Bijan calls the police, asking for help.
Go out of my house.
Bijan, are you or anyone else in immediate danger right now?
I am.
Is the door locked at the moment?
Yes.
A baying mob of neighbours gather outside.
You are supposed to come here to look after me.
You're making it worse. Get in.
But instead of arresting them, it's Bijan, the victim, taken away by police.
I don't want to talk to you. I'm not going around in circles anymore.
No, I'm talking to you, the friend.
No, you're not my friend. That's the point. I'm a police officer. You're a pain in the ass.
3 days after, Lee James attacks Bijan. He stamped on his head, kicked him, and set him alight. James is serving a life sentence for his murder. Capgrave Crescent was built to be a community with a heart. Every home here overlooks these communal gardens. Instead, it was a place where Bijan Ebrahimi was abused by a small number of neighbours and then brutally killed. The very people who should have been protecting him, the council, treated him like a villain rather than a victim. Today, his family say they finally have some answers. We have been given documents that show the desperate calls Bijan made to council housing officers asking for help, saying he was in danger and trying to get rehomed. In 2010, Bristol City Council took out an antisocial behaviour injunction against him. They did so without giving Bijan any notice. This, say his family, was the most humiliating incident in his life.
The council's categoric in its recent report and in its statement that injunction should not have been taken out against Bijan. And in fact, it's a good example of the institutional nature of the racism that was perpetrated against him.
Today in Capgrave Crescent, a council housing team were out handing out leaflets to reassure local people. But local residents say this is still an area blighted by antisocial behaviour.
Do you feel safe here? When I'm in my house, my doors are closed and locked, yeah. But outside sometimes, no. Especially with like the gates, they're never shut. People can climb over, there's random people coming in and out. There's quite a lot of like drug users around here.
But a promise tonight from the Mayor of Bristol and the police that they have learnt lessons.
I think the institutions need to step up. I mean, clearly a vulnerable man was left in his vulnerability when he shouldn't have been. And actually that is the job of public institutions, to step in and guard people in their vulnerability.
Since 2013, over 2,000 our staff, frontline cops, call centre staff, our custody officers, and gradually everybody who works for us in Avon and Somerset Constabulary have undergone a very challenging one-day workshop.
Bijan came to this so-called city of sanctuary looking for a place of safety. He never stopped believing that the council and police would protect him. He was so badly let down. His sisters say they will not stop fighting to protect others.
We've had a positive meeting with the council already, and we are hoping to continue this, and we will be there and making sure that all these recommendations put in place in the hope of saving other lives.
I've spent many days on Capgrave Crescent over the last few months and spoken to many residents who live there. While some say it's a nice place to live, others say it is an area blighted by antisocial behaviour and crime. And it's those issues that both the police and the council need to get a grip of if they're going to make people on that estate feel safe in the future.
Our Home Affairs correspondent Charlotte Callan reporting there. On to some other news, and businesses in